Hey scrappy friends, this is Mags from Mags Graphics, and today I want to show you some fun things that you can do with two of my new releases. The Haunted border clusters and the Rustic Halloween frame clusters. These are all enhanced art packs and they coordinate with their respective bundles. The Haunted bundle is reminiscent of the Disney Mickey's Haunted House items, just similar colors and feel. And then the Rustic Halloween is more of the crafty, woodsy Halloween bundle. So I'd like to show you some fun things you can do within these two new products. So I'm going to hide these. And the first thing we're going to do is take a look at a couple of these border clusters. When you first add them to the page, you'll notice that they start with the word group. That means it's an enhanced art grouped cluster and you can ungroup to customize. So I'm going to add that one on the page and I'm going to also add this one on the page and we'll play with two of them first. So over here on the Boot to You, I'm going to right click, group, ungroup, and we're going to take a look at the things that pop up over here. You'll notice maybe with this ghost that there is an outline of a ghost underneath. This is a shadow that's on its separate layer. If you don't want it, you would turn it off and then you could go up to format, shadow, and shadow it any way you would want to do it within Artisan. But if you would like to play with this shadow, right now it is moved farther away to make it look like this ghost is popping off the page. You can rotate it a little bit. You can bring it closer. You can adjust the opacity. They come in at 70% so that you can make it darker. You can make it fainter. It gives you some more versatility since the shadow is on a separate layer. Also, within these, you've got the bats. You can see that they also have a separate layer. So that if you bring this further away, it looks like it's popping off the page because the shadow is far away from it. You could also go up and you could, actually this is pretty dark, so changing to sepia isn't going to be helpful, but we can go to format color, and we could just change the color of the bat to something different. Changing the color will remove any texture that is on it. But you know that Artisan has a lot of neat textures already within, so you could go up and choose one to apply to the bat shape if you would like. And now we've got a purple bat instead of the black one, which is pretty cool. Then coming over here to this other border, let's imagine for a minute, I'm going to move this over. Let's imagine for a minute that you would like this tag to be sticking straight out. You're maybe going to add some photos above and below and you want to do some work with it. And in this case, we're going to again right click and ungroup. And you can take a look and you can see that the tag and its respective shadow is on a separate layer. So I'm going to select the two of those and I'm going to group them back together so that they rotate properly. And I'm going to turn this, slide it over and line it up so that it still looks as if this rickrack is going through it. And now I've got a tag going out a different way. Maybe I want to tuck in a photo frame under here. And even if I wanted to rotate it some more, I could. You just line it back up. Same way, its shadow was on a separate layer. If I didn't want that and I just wanted to use the generic shadows within Artisan, I totally could. Oops, I picked the wrong layer. Hold on a minute. But if I'd like to use this one, I can even move it. I can rotate it down so it looks a little bit warped. I can pull it even further away so that it looks like it's farther away. Scoot that down. So the ones that have their little duplicate shape underneath means there is a separate shadow. It's not all the cases. I mean, in the flower The flower doesn't really need a separate shadow, so it's using one of the ones within Artisan, which you can, of course, increase or decrease as you want. But it is neat that some of these items do have separate shadows, and you can see them along the side. It's usually a dark duplicate shape that's underneath. I'm going to pull these off, and we're going to take a look at another one. I had fun making a jack-o'-lantern tower. Turns out that Lowe's or Home Depot, I think one of them sells an 8-foot jack-o'-lantern tower, which I totally have put on my Christmas list now, because who else, doesn't need that? These are some fun borders because you can make a lot of customizations. All right, we're going to right-click and ungroup both of those and see what we're working with. Right away, you can see that the faces are separate, which means if you want to swap them out, I'd have to move this up a bit. You totally could swap them out between each other or swap them out on different ones. If I'm moving this one over here to the black, then I would need to fill it with a color. So you can easily switch them out. Another thing that you can do is if you want it to look more carved into the pumpkin, we're going to go to Effects, Add an Effect, and Inside Shadow. And depending on how steep or deep you choose it, you can make it look as if it has been carved into your face. Some of these also have, you can see the separate shadows underneath. And I'm going to grab the shadow on this bottom one. I'm going to keep my aspect ratio unlocked. And I am going to just drag straight down, which now makes it look as if that shadow is sitting, as if the whole totem pole is sitting on the ground. And you can actually do that with these other ones if you wanted to. Move that up a bit, which can make for some really cool effects on your pages. So these are some fun things you can do with the Haunted Border Clusters. And again, they match the rest of the Haunted collection that is already in Forever. All right, and then let's take a look at the Rustic Halloween clusters. Here's one that I'm going to add to the page. All right, so the Rustic Halloween frame clusters all have a place to just drag and drop your photos, but we're also going to right-click and ungroup because there are some fun things you can do with this. This did not necessitate a bunch of layers with their own shadows because these are pretty typical elements that can work very well with the shadows that are provided within Artisan. But let's say where I wanted to position this, I wanted all of this on the other side. That is not going to be a problem. I'm going to select my sunflower and move it over. I'm going to actually select the 3 leaves and group them. Oops, I don't have the 3 leaves selected. 3 leaves and group. I'm going to rotate them together, bring them over to the other side, and ungroup. I'm going to bring over my Happy Fall tag, move it over here. And one of the fun things that are in here, you might notice, is that we have a little bit of stitching, and underneath we have the holes. I'm going to pull them off to the side so you can see. Here is the stitching. There are the holes. I'm going to group these two together because I have a feeling lining them back up would not be as easy. So we're going to group. We're going to rotate this around. And we're going to add it right back over on top of that little tag to look as if it has been stitched to the frame. And now we've got our frame cluster, but it's now all flipped to the other side. And again, on this, you can certainly go up to color and change the hue and saturation. Let's pretend you don't want it to be green. You'd like it to be another color. So you can choose something else that maybe matches your page better. So that makes for a lot of interesting effects that you can do with these. I'm going to group this and move it out of the way. And we'll take a look at another one that's in this pack. Add to page. All right, here we've got a vertical set of 3 photos, a little place for a caption, clustered up little trick or treat tag. But let's say you wanted it to be the other direction. First thing I'm going to do is turn it the other direction. And then I'm going to right click and ungroup. These are actually square photo frames, which will make it super easy because I can just click on each one and rotate them back to the way that they were. I can also take my trick or treat tag and rotate it the other way. Now I have it sideways, which maybe this will fit better with your page. You also have the option to move each bit within this cluster. Maybe I want this to be more straight. Maybe I'd like it over here. It's really wonderful that you can have the ungrouped pieces. Also with the stitching, you're going to get the stitching and the corresponding holes. And I'll show you those here as well. This up so you can see the holes that are there. And the holes look as if they are pushed into the paper. So no matter where you put them, it's going to look like it's pushed in, just like a stitching would be. Maybe I want these to be up in here. Maybe I want to use this elsewhere, you know, and add it to a tag. Maybe I still want to use it up here like it's attached. So a lot of fun things that you can do with this. I'm going to add another one of these to the page. I forgot my holes. Move these over. And group them back together. All right. So let's say you wanted to add the ghosts from this one over to the other one that we put on. So we can do group and ungroup. Take a look at what we have. You notice you've got some extra custom shadows here. So when I grab this ghost, I'm going to grab the shadow that it goes with underneath. And now I'm going to move him over to this cluster. It's really neat the way you can connect the different pieces from one into pieces of another. So these are the new products that are in the store. Right now they are 30% off. Today is October 4th, 2024. These will be part of the deal of the day on October 8th. If you are patient and want to wait that long. Otherwise, you can get 30% off of them right now. And if you're watching this at a different time, then they're subject to whatever sale is going on in the store. And so I hope you will stop by and check these out and also check out the coordinating bundles that they go with. Thanks for watching.